All right, welcome back, Prospect Live viewers. We're back with another 2020 MLB Draft team breakdown. Today's victim, the Toronto Blue Jays. I have Joe Doyle from our site joining us. Joe, let's go through a very exciting system, one that's already graduated some, I guess, superstar prospects, to put it one way. Last year, they went to the college pitching well with a Cape Cod League breakout favorite of mine, Alek Manoah out of West Virginia at 11. Prior to that, in 2018, Jordan Groshans, a very exciting prep shortstop. Before that, Logan Warmoth at 22. But prior to that, Nate Pearson at 28. I think that was back in the 2016 draft, if I'm not mistaken. So, scattered history here, but they've had, I would say 2 hits. One, the jury's still on him with Groshans because he's been injured, and then Warmoth, who's very difficult to say anything positive about. But where do you think the Blue Jays go here? Obviously it's a high pick at 5. We'll pull some information here. Is it kind of a matter of who drops before that? Who gets picked in the top 3? Who's waiting for him there? Is it Hancock? Is it Veen, etc.? Who are you thinking the Blue Jays go after?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head. There really is no tendency in Toronto. They don't have any rhyme or reason with where they go. Granted, a couple of the picks they've made, Groshans and Pearson especially, they look like they're going to be good players, good valuable players to the big league ball club. But then Manoah, JC kid, kind of came out of nowhere. Wait, was that Manoah or Rutledge? Anyways, in any case, Rutledge was the JC kid. But in any case, you got Warmoth, you got Manoah. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit of a toss-up once again. You could see them go the college pitching route. I think there's going to be some good college pitching available on the board, with Emerson Hancock possibly being on the board. And then also maybe watch out for Max Meyer, because I think there's a little bit of smoke between the Blue Jays and Meyer, a little bit of helium there, some whispers. So that's going to be a pairing that might get some more legs as we approach the draft. And then the other one that everyone's talking about, Zach Veen. As you can see, 23 years ago, the 5th pick in the draft was Vernon Wells. That could be Zach Veen this year. It wouldn't surprise me. Veen probably, at this stage, from what we know, he probably has the highest ceiling of any prep position player in this year's draft. And you could make the case that Toronto needs an influx of talent in the outfield. So that's kind of where the draft starts, right? That 4th pick, that 5th pick, there could be wrenches, there could be chaos, and Toronto could be at hand.
They could be in the thick of things, and I think they're definitely one of the more interesting teams to break down in terms of where do they go, where do we end up seeing, Toronto make the selection, and they could go a bunch of different directions. They could add some arms, especially, a potentially quick to the majors college guy like an Emerson Hancock makes a lot of sense with their timeline. And I know you don't always draft for need, but it does make a lot of sense. And then up the middle, they do have an absolute hole up the middle in terms of, center fielders that could be up even in the next 3 seasons. I'm not going to hold my breath and keep waiting for Anthony Alford and everything there to click. They don't have a center fielder. So, Veen, if he's on the board, I think potentially that could be the pick, but I think he might end up going at 4. We'll see. There's, like I said, with Kansas City and with Toronto, there's a lot of question marks there. So very interesting to take a look at. But thanks for joining us, guys. That'll be it for Toronto. We'll be back with another set of videos next week.